18 minutes now before 7 o'clock. A very good morning to you, wherever you are. You're very welcome on board. It's Eamonn and Ellie, breakfast on GB News.
Let's bring you up to date with today's front pages. And the Times goes with the fall of Putin as Britain is told to prepare for the collapse of the Russian government.
Treasons to be cheerful, says the Metro, as Ukrainians take advantage of the Wagner Group insurrection.
The Sun go with Sarah Ferguson's breast cancer diagnosis, with the Duchess of York now recovering at home. And
the Telegraph focuses on Prince William. I think this is really, really good and interesting, and we wish him well with this. He has pledged to make ending homelessness his life's work.
And some like it hot, say the Star. With 5 heat waves on the way, 5, the RSPCA warns that people's pet snakes could make an escape this summer. I hope not.
So why does the heat mean that they escape?
All the adders come out.
Because they like the hot weather.
Yeah, they like to bask in the sun.
They like the hot weather. And it makes them frisky as well.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want that.
It's not just me then. That's good. Hello, Chris. Chris Agabusi, Don Neeson, going through the newspapers. And listen, this whole situation in Russia with the attempted coup by the Wagner Group. Don, you're taking it front page from the Times. Your interpretation.
Yeah, no, I was lucky enough to be covering this story as it's breaking live on Saturday, and it's happening so fast, isn't it, Eamonn? It's incredible. You know, it's sort of like it happened on Friday night, Saturday morning, and now suddenly we're waking up and it's prepare for fall of Putin in Britain is told as a headline on the Times. I'm not quite understanding why that's going to happen, because from what we understand, Prigozhin has been exiled to Belarus, so he's no longer a threat to Moscow or to Putin. And the 25,000-strong force that Prigozhin took with him to get to the town they were in, which was 1.1 million people, so it feels like it's sort of fizzled out. So I'm not entirely sure what this story is about in the Times. And they're saying, you know, the coup attempt could trigger a regime train. And we've got to remember Russia is a nuclear power, but it doesn't seem to be happening because Prigozhin is no longer there. Putin seems to be pretty much in control still. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure what's happening. But the one thing that, you know, the other front page where saying sort of like, you know, treasons to be cheerful, we've got to bear in mind that the Wagner Group aren't sort of cuddly liberals, by the way. I mean, they are literally fascists. So I'm not entirely sure, you know, if they had have taken over and overseen the throw of Putin, it would have been good news for anyone.
As you say, fascinating. I find it amazing that Russia, being maybe at worst the 3rd biggest military power in the world, that they have to hire in a guy with his own private army to do their dirty work for them. I just think it's amazing, Chris, that organisations like this exist around the world, these guns for hire, not 10 of them, 20 of them, but 25,000 of them, really well armed and really well equipped.
Yeah, which was, I think it's sort of equivalent to a brigade in the UK. But what you have got, these are guys who either are mercenaries or special forces that want to continue, or malcontents, criminals. And I do get that. The French Foreign Legion, you know, was something when I was a young lad. I don't know if it's still around now, but people used to go to Foreign Legion for the same thing. Yeah. No, I definitely understand. Well, I definitely understand. No, whoa. I don't understand. My take here was in the Metro where it says treason to be careful, to be cheerful. And what they're really saying is that there has been a swing change now, potentially, in the war there in Europe, where they're saying, for example, the Wagner Group, who took out 39 aircrew and pilots, which is the biggest loss the Russians had. So, the friendly fire is the biggest loss that the Russians have actually had. And it exposed the Russians' defence forces in Ukraine as the crew left Ukraine to head towards Moscow.
That left openings.
Exactly. Back there in Ukraine. And it shows also the chaos, split and indecisiveness within the Russians' ranks. Now, probably a little bit early to say Putin's going to go anywhere because he's still got a grip on the place.
Yeah.
But it does show, is it the beginning of the end or end of the beginning? One of those sort of phrases.
Well, we'll find out. Dawn, the Sun front page, they're going with the Sarah Ferguson story.
Yes.
So she had a mammogram and that resulted in them detecting cancer. And we're told that she's had a single mastectomy.
Yeah, this is a story on a lot of the front pages today. News broke over the weekend that Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, she's 63 years old, she was found to have breast cancer in a routine mammogram. And I think that's the important part about this story is, you know, go and get yourself checked. It's not painful, it's not even that uncomfortable, but it's so important because if we do catch breast cancer early, you've got a 98% chance of survival. So it's so important that this is a friend of Sarah Ferguson who's talking out. It's not an interview with Sarah herself. But, you know, she was in hospital for 6 days. She had a single mastectomy. Whether she will need radiotherapy after, we don't know that detail yet, but she is now resting at home in the home she still shares with Andrew, which I find a bit weird. But, and, you know, the interesting thing about this story is that she lost her dad as well, Ronald Ferguson, to prostate cancer. And there is a link, a genetic link between breast cancer and prostate cancer if it runs in the family. So again, you know, for Sarah's 2 daughters, it's very important. We know there is a hereditary link with breast cancer.
Well, we wish her well.
Absolutely, but get checked. Please get yourself checked.
Yeah, and as you say, Dawn, I think if anything, it just highlights the importance, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Going to your routine
So
mammograms,
important.
and thank God she's at home and appears to be recovering well.
Yeah.
As you say, wish her well.
Another royal story, front page of the Daily Telegraph. We've got Prince William, the Prince of Wales, and I think what he's aiming towards helping the homeless, not just helping the homeless, Chris, but eradicating homelessness. He now says this is his life's work.
Yes, exactly. And his mantra, everyone has a safe and secure home, is what he's looking for. It will be his life work. And he was first introduced to the homeless crisis by his mum, Princess Di, and when he was 11 years of age. And there's, inside of the Telegraph, they've got a great picture. I don't know if anyone you can see that there, but it's got some specific dates where the Prince was involved in 1993, his earliest experience to homelessness. And, you know, he's using his ability to draw people together to make a real concerted effort over the next 5 years to have a leading programme that can be replicated throughout the country. So he's picked 6 cities, or 6 areas, should I say, and, you know, local authorities, developers, landowners, social services, housing associations come together and to really have this great big blueprint, because apparently in Finland they've done this and it's eradicated homelessness in Finland, and so he's really keen.
Seriously? I mean, they could go to Finland and say, it's eradicated, we don't have it here.
Well, that's what the paper said. That in Finland, so he's copying the blueprint there. He's been involved in the last 2 years. It's not something like he's sort of let other people get on with. He's been really involved with making this happen, and he really wants... He felt that there was a paucity. His mum got involved in 1993, or got him involved in 1993, and it's not moved on fast enough for him. And so, you know...
We wish him well. We wish him well, Chris, with that.
Yeah, and what a legacy, wouldn't it be? To
Indeed.
It's just amazing. Dawn, Chris, we've got to leave it there, I'm afraid. You're back with us in the next hour, aren't you? Brilliant.
Yes.